What if I told you that making people like you isn't about impressing them with your clothes, your looks, or your clever jokes? It's not about being the loudest person in the room or the one who gets the most attention. The secret is something deeper, something quieter, something powerful. It's the ability to be fully in control of how people feel around you, without manipulating, pretending, or performing. And the best part? You don't have to change who you are. You just need to understand the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover how to win hearts, command respect, and build real connection without ever chasing approval. Imagine walking into a room and not saying a word, yet people notice you. Not because you're loud, but because you're calm, because you radiate something they can't name but feel drawn to. Picture yourself in a conversation where the other person leans in, shares their truth, and walks away thinking, I really like that person, even though you barely talked about yourself. That's the Stoic mindset. That's emotional gravity. And once you learn how to build it, people won't just like you, they'll remember you. Long after the words fade, they'll remember how they felt in your presence. That's the power you're about to unlock. To begin, you must first understand one of the deepest truths about human nature. People don't remember facts, or words, or even appearances. They remember feelings, and people like those who make them feel seen, safe, and significant. Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." That's not just good advice. That's the foundation of connection. Most people don't listen. They wait for their turn to speak. But when you show real curiosity about another person, when you ask them, what matters most to you right now? Or, what's something you wish more people understood about you? You become different. You become unforgettable. Listening isn't silence, it's presence. It's giving someone the rare gift of being fully heard in a world where everyone is shouting. And yet, listening alone is not enough. You must also speak with intention. Not to impress, not to boast, but to build. When you do speak, speak with depth. Share a truth, a story, a lesson, something real. And be willing to be a little vulnerable. People are not drawn to perfection. They are drawn to sincerity, to someone who's confident enough to say, I've struggled with that too. That simple phrase can create a bridge of trust that years of small talk can't build. But here's the twist most people miss. Being liked isn't about getting people to like you. It's about becoming someone you like. That's where calm confidence comes in. The Stoics had a word for it, ataraxia. It means inner peace that isn't shaken by outside events. When you're grounded, when you're not begging for attention or approval, you give off a quiet strength. People feel safe around you because you are safe within yourself. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, wrote in his journal, "The opinion of others is not my concern." Think about that. The Emperor of Rome didn't worry about what others thought of him. He focused on being true to his principles. That's the kind of confidence that draws people in, not arrogance, but a calm certainty that says, I know who I am, and I don't need you to validate it. This kind of presence doesn't require noise. In fact, silence, used wisely, is magnetic. When you can hold a pause after asking a question, when you can sit in stillness without needing to fill the air, you create space. And in that space, people feel safe to open up. safe to be themselves. Most of the world is noisy. Most conversations are a tug of war for attention. But when you can sit like a rock in the river, still and unmoved, people are drawn to your depth. They can't help it, because you become the calm in their storm. But connection isn't just about presence. It's also about value. The Stoics believed we're here not just to exist, but to serve, to contribute. Seneca said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." And when you live that truth, when you help someone without expecting something in return, you build invisible threads of loyalty. You become the kind of person people trust, because your kindness isn't a trick. It's a habit, a way of life. Start small. Offer help before it's asked. Share something useful. Celebrate someone's success. Listen without interrupting. These tiny acts cost nothing, yet they pay back in relationships, respect, and reputation. But remember, the key is sincerity. If you're helping just to be liked, it will feel hollow. People can sense that. But when your heart is truly in it, when your kindness comes from overflow, not desperation, it changes the room. It lifts others, and in lifting others, you rise too. Now here's a truth most people never hear. Likability isn't about being everything to everyone. It's about being consistent, being honest, being rooted. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the secret to deep, lasting connection. Integrity. When your actions match your words, when people know what to expect from you, you become trustworthy. You become someone they want around, not just when things are good, but especially when things fall apart. Be the one who shows up on time, the one who follows through, the one who admits when they're wrong and doesn't shift blame. That kind of consistency is rare, and people value what is rare. In a world full of masks, your honesty becomes a breath of fresh air. Your steadiness becomes a lighthouse. And people don't just like lighthouses, they depend on them. But here's where the magic happens. When you combine curiosity, confidence, kindness, and integrity, you create something greater than likability. You create gravity. People start to feel better around you. They feel calmer, seen, respected, and because they associate those feelings with you, they're drawn back to you again and again. They don't always know why. They just know you make them feel safe, inspired, human. And that, my friend, is a power worth more than charm, more than fame, more than popularity. It's the power to connect deeply and lastingly with anyone. So take a moment now and ask yourself, what would it look like if I lived this way? What would change if you focused more on understanding others than on being understood? What would happen if you showed up in every room with calm confidence, not because you rehearsed it, but because you practiced it every day in silence? Who would you become if every word, every act came from a place of deep integrity? This isn't a performance. This isn't a trick. This is a return to your true self, the part of you that doesn't chase, doesn't pretend, doesn't manipulate, the part of you that simply is strong, kind, grounded, real, the part of you that doesn't need everyone to like them, but somehow ends up being deeply liked by everyone who matters. And that's the Stoic way. So don't try to be liked. Don't try to impress. Be present. Be calm. Be useful. Be honest. That is the path. That is the power. And once you start walking it, you'll never look back. You'll start to notice people leaning closer, opening up, trusting you with more, and not because you forced it, but because you became it. You became someone who listens with heart, speaks with purpose, gives with joy, and lives with truth. If this spoke to something deep in you, then this journey is just beginning. There's more to learn, more to master, more to become. So stay curious, stay steady, stay real, and remember this: likability is not the goal, presence is. Purpose is. And when you live with both, the world doesn't just like you, the world changes around you.